All right. Sorry, you good?
We're good.
That's awkward. That's an awkward way to start.
No, that's
All right,
okay.
welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Now we're starting off on a good note here, but I'm here with Corey.
Hi. Thanks for being here. This is live.
That's the rough part about live streams. For me, I would have started over, but can't do that.
I know. I noticed you paused and you were like,
Uh-oh.
this is live. I guess we can't
Yeah.
just nix that one.
Deer in the headlights. All right, so sorry about that one. Okay, anyway, as you probably noticed by the title of this live stream, we wanted to jump on here quickly and talk about an announcement that came out earlier today. Sorry, I can't even concentrate now.
My
So
phone's
embarrassed. Anyway, there was an announcement that came out earlier today that we want to talk about here in this live stream because this came out of some lawmakers and it's a decision out of the House of Representatives. And as you noticed by the title, we're saying you probably want to wait on filing your 2023 tax return because there's a big decision coming out right now and we might want to wait on this one because the objective is to get this thing passed in the next, what's the date today?
The 16th.
16th. So in the next 13 days, because the IRS announced a couple days ago that tax filing season starts on January 29th, and today's the 16th. So, yeah, should we roll into it right away?
I think
Questions
so.
or anything?
Can we do some shout outs first?
Yeah, let's do some shout outs. Sorry, everyone.
Okay. I'll do shout outs so you
embarrassed.
can regroup.
I know, can't even think.
Matthew Hill, Rudy the King, Barbara Haskell, Dale Bedard, Hazel Green, Tammy McD 17, Ashley, Lisa Hawkins, Jean Ward, Rebecca Gensler, Tamika Davis, Roxanne Justice, Tina Hall, Ryan Anderson, Joan Frankel, Ginger March, Craig Boydston, Ginger Anderson. Did I do another Ginger? Am I like losing my...
No, I think there was
I think
another
there might
Ginger.
be two. That's cool. Oh, Ginger March and Ginger Anderson.
Yeah.
Nice. The Gingers. Joe Miller, Charlene Reynolds, Susan Ryan. Oh my gosh, now I have to go.
Oh, I don't feel so bad now.
This is so embarrassing. I need water. Susan Ryan, Stacy Lang, Margaret Yoakum, Loretta Brown, Deanna Green, John Russell, Shantae Lamar, Rebecca Smith, Kamala Shirley, Tanya Edwards, Roy Russ, Rebecca Kingbird, and Belinda Sullivan.
Nice. Great. Thank you, everybody, for being here, even though we're a couple of fools.
Well, you know what? Can I say?
Yeah.
We were eating nuts, like cracked nuts. And I honestly think I have one in my throat.
Yeah.
That's really what I
Who
think.
doesn't love some nuts? I mean, seriously, right? Nuts are awesome.
It's like a
You sit there
special
and-
Christmas treat.
I really
So,
enjoy it.
Yeah.
You get to pick those out of your teeth for a few hours. It's pretty fun.
I know. Well, it's just like deep in my throat. I'm like, what am I going to do? Okay.
All right. So anyway,
Oh,
sorry,
focus.
getting a little difficult getting into this video. All right, so let's buzz through the details here. All right, so this comes down to an announcement and something they've been trying to work on here for quite a while, and it is the child tax credit payments, okay? Now, again, let me talk about the details of this because I know a lot of you here in this community that watch the videos on a regular basis might be thinking, okay, but do I get something as somebody receiving a fixed income benefit or something like this? Again, we can talk about that more in a minute, but this is all about the child tax credit payments, okay? So here's what it comes down to. Here's what they announced earlier today, which, by the way, I just want to say this really quick, fast. Full disclaimer, this is not tax advice, not accounting advice, not advice in any way, shape, or form, okay? We're not advising anybody in this video, just simply saying you may want to wait, but again, do what you got to do for your own situation. But here's what the situation is for the new child tax credit payments. So as of right now, the refundable portion of the child tax credit payments is worth up to $1,600, okay? However, here's what they're going to be doing based on this new proposal that came out today. And it's not even so much a proposal, it's a done deal out of the House of Representatives. They just need to vote on it now, pass it through the House, pass it through the Senate, and get it signed by the President. And they want to do it in 13 days, okay? Just saying, they're going to try to push this thing fast. But this is going to be retroactive back to 2023, so obviously 2024 right now. But since you're going to be filing your 2023 tax return like in the next, few weeks, the next few months, sometime between now and April 15th, you can still claim this, okay? Well, I can't say for sure if you can claim it, but I'm just simply saying this boosted benefit will be going into effect provided they pass it for 2023, okay? So here's what they want to do. It's a tiered scale. So starting in 2023, they're going to boost it from $1,600 up to $1,800. This year, 2024, they're going to boost it up to $1,900. And next year, 2025, they'll boost it up to $2,000 is what they boosted up to. And that's going to be adjusted for inflation every year after that, okay? That's nice. Now, here's the thing. The cool thing about the child tax credit, it's a refundable tax credit. Now, here's the thing. You don't need to know a whole lot about the tax code and stuff like that. I geek out over this stuff. I'm very fascinated by it. I don't know why. It just interests me a lot. I like numbers. But anyway, here's what it comes down to. Let me give you a quick example. Think back to all the stimulus checks that we got, okay? I'm just using this as an example. Those were refundable tax credits. In other words, if your income was zero, you still got the money, okay? So there's a difference between tax credits. There's refundable and non-refundable. Non-refundable simply means if your income is zeroed out, you get nothing back. You get zero cash value on that. But if there's a refundable tax credit, it still has a cash value even if your income is zero. That's what's cool about it. So you can zero your income out, and even if you're somebody that typically does not file a tax return because your income is low enough, whereas, with the standard deduction and stuff like that, your income is essentially zeroed out. In this case, with the refundable tax credit from the child tax credit payments, you can still get this back in the form of cash, which, by the way, this is the money would be $1,800 per child. So we're not talking about like one per family. We're talking $1,800 per child, and there's no cap on the number of kids. So if you have one kid, $1,800. Two kids, $3,600. Three kids, what is that? What is the math on that? $5,400? Yeah, $5,400. Sorry. I just do the math quick. I'm like, what is that? Yeah, $5,400. So my point is, it's a lot of money. We're talking a lot of money here, especially for people that have kids. Now, this is for those people that have kids under the age of 17, okay? But as of right now, it's still $1,600, but they want to get this passed, and they're going to be pushing this thing hard for the next 13 days, according to what I've been reading on this anyway, to get this done before January 29th, which is official filing day. Well, when it kicks off anyway, according to the IRS. So, does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can I ask you a few questions?
Yeah.
Okay. Linda West wants to know, yes or no, are we getting a stimulus?
No, not right now. Not right now. There's not a stimulus check approved. No. Mm-hmm. I've said that. I make that very clear all the time in my videos. I always say that all the time. Like right now, a stimulus check has not been approved, okay? So, yeah. I know there's a lot of people out there that say, oh, stimulus checks are coming tomorrow, stuff like that. No, I am not one of those people, okay? I do say we've got to watch the economy. If the economy gets whacked around, which it's already getting that way, and it's going to get a lot worse here, that is when the likelihood of stimulus checks get a lot greater. I'm just saying that, okay? So, yep.
Okay, thank you. Next, we have Tom Lizinski. I'm not sure that I said that right, but that's okay. What about families that have young kids on SSDI? Can we receive child tax credit with no income or have never filed a federal tax return?
For sure. Again, not tax advice, but I'm just saying, yeah, for sure. It doesn't matter if they're getting a benefit or not. Yeah, still a kid, right? Under the age of 17. If you claim them as your dependent, now here's the thing.
Even if you were on SSDI?
Yeah, okay. For sure. Yep. If they're claimed by somebody else as a dependent, though, that's who would get it, okay? You have to be able to claim this person as your dependent. So if it's your kid and you claim them, or if you would claim them as a dependent on your tax return if you were to file, then yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Yep.
Good.
And again, I saw that you said you typically don't file a federal tax return. It doesn't matter. That's my point here is even if your income is zeroed out because you're living on a fixed income benefit or your income is low or whatever it happens to be, you can still get that cash value. So that's the cool thing about it. So why we're saying, hey, you might want to wait on filing. Now, here's the thing. Let's just say that you're saying, I want to file no matter what right away. Okay, do what you got to do for yourself. That's totally fine. But if they pass this and then all of a sudden you've already filed your tax return, a couple scenarios would play out. Number one, you may need to file an amendment, which is not a big deal. It's just more paperwork for you, and it kind of jump through some hoops there, and it'll take longer, honestly. But if you sometimes the IRS will automatically amend returns. It doesn't happen all that often, but honestly, I wouldn't really want to go through that process. It would take a long time for them to do that, but they have done it historically. In fact, just a couple of years ago, they did that. There were some things where they made changes right after the tax filing season opened up, and they said, oh, we made these changes. And then they said, hey, everybody, as in they being the IRS, they came back and said, hey, don't worry, everybody. If you already filed, we will automatically make the adjustments, and we'll make due and, give you the adjustments or whatever. So, yeah, they can do that.
Okay. I'm going to ask some more questions. Anna Hebera wants to know, will this help people on disability who have guardianship of small children but who don't work?
So when you say guardianship, again, if you claim that person as a dependent, if they would technically be your dependent on your tax return, again, being guardian...
Or like nobody else would claim them.
Yeah, if nobody else would claim them. If you're saying guardianship, is that's what you said, right? Then yeah, they're probably your dependent. Then yeah, I mean, the same thing, right? In fact, I've been reading a lot of reports about this today. They're anticipating this is going to lift 15 million kids out of poverty. It's mostly going to impact the lower income families. So, pretty cool.
Charlie Thomas wants to know, so I don't have any work income, I'll still get it. If you have a dependent child.
Yeah.
You have to have a kid to claim it.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
So if you live alone, so like Darren, wow, I'm really struggling. Wants to know, like, what if you, what about us that live alone with no kids? That would not be you, right?
Right. Yeah. So again, this is the child tax credit payments. Okay. So that's what this is. Now, again, we talked about this before a couple years ago, 2021, when they offered the advanced child tax credit payments then, right? There were a lot of people who were people with disabilities, older adults, people like this saying, okay, you're sending out ongoing monthly checks for 6 months on an average of $422 a month for about 38 million households. What about us? What about seniors, right? That was a lot of pushback that they got on that. So that's why I'm saying we got to continue watching this. I'm not promising anything. I have no clue what they're going to do going forward. I'm just simply saying I guarantee you they're going to get a lot of pushback on this from seniors. Fixed income beneficiaries are going to be really push on this one and saying, what about us? Again, right? You got stiffed again. So that's what I'm saying. We got to continue watching this because who knows? Maybe they'll come forward and say, oh, hey, maybe something for seniors too. I don't know. I'm just simply saying we need to continue watching it.
Yes and No wants to know, hi, how much will it go up for one child under 6?
Yeah, so right now it's $1,600. So that's what the child tax credit payment is as of right now, but it'll be retroactive to 2023, and it's going to go up by $200 to $1,800. So yeah,
Okay.
Does it make sense? Yeah.
Rudy the King says, I can't file since I receive SSI and I'm raising my 13-year-old son.
Okay. Is there a rule that says you can't file? You can. I mean, that's the thing, yeah.
So you can file even if you don't have like a traditional income, like a job.
Yeah, I get it. Like a lot of people that receive SSI are like, oh, I can't file or I don't need to file. You're right. Most people that receive benefits don't need to file. Not everybody, but a lot of people. Now, if you're receiving SSI, there's no rule that says you can't file. You certainly can. Okay, so
it sounds like
yeah.
especially in a situation where you could get a child tax credit back, because
Yeah.
if you don't file, they won't know that you should get a child tax credit. Is
Exactly.
that kind of what you're getting out of it?
100% too. And the deal is too, the IRS is not going to contact you and be like, hey, I'm sorry. I see that you have a 13-year-old son and we got $1,800 here with your name on it. Do you want to claim it? They're not going to do that. They couldn't care less.
Ooh,
You know what I mean? They're not going to do that. They're not going to call you. They're not going to email you. They're not going to text you. They're not going to send you a letter. It's kind of up to your discretion to claim the money. And if you don't claim it, they couldn't care less. You know what I mean? So again, I don't want to speak for the IRS. I'm just simply saying they're not in the business of, hey, we're going to micromanage and tell everybody who can get money or not. You've got to kind of do that on your own. So again, if you typically don't file and your income would be zero because you receive SSI, because technically it would be based on the deductions that you have. If you have a 13-year-old dependent, yeah, by all means, you can grab that.
I have one more question, and then we'll kind of go over some things again. But this is a good question. I like it. Tina Hall, who's a member, thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, Tina.
She wants to know, what if you're divorced? What if you're in a divorce and you get the child 6 months out of the year? Can you still get the $1,600 or the $1,800?
That's a good question.
I really like that question.
That's a really good question. I
tricky
think, again, not advice in any way, shape, or form, okay? But Tina, that's a really good question. So I've seen this question before. Sometimes what I've seen other people do is they alternate. So sometimes it's like, okay, the mom, the wife will take the deduction 1 year, and then the next year the dad, the husband, or the dad of the child will take the deduction the next year. I would say talk to an accountant about that. I'm not sure if you can split it. I honestly don't think you can, because only one person is claiming that person as a dependent, but there may be something around that. So I would say talk to your professional about that. Honestly, I don't have the best answer for you. Not sure. Mm-hmm. But again, somebody will be able to get that money for sure.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Other questions? I know this is kind of a confusing thing. I know it is. And again, I know that a lot of people here in the community, may not be interested in this, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of people that leave money on the table. Like fixed income beneficiaries leave a ton of money on the table every year because the consensus is, I don't need to file it because my income is low enough. You're right. In most cases, you don't need to file. But when something like this pops up and it's a refundable tax credit, those are the key words you want to listen for. A refundable tax credit simply means cash in your pocket, even with zero income. That's the best part about it, okay? So the same thing like the stimulus checks. Just think of it that way. when you had when the stimulus checks were sent out a couple years ago, if you did not get one that was distributed to you, how did you claim it? You filed a tax return. You basically put a bunch of zeros in on your federal tax return and said, hey, my income is zero, and then they sent you a check. That's how it worked, okay? It's the same exact thing here. The only difference would be basically you fill out the tax return, and again, I'm just kind of
if you have kids,
yeah, I'm just making
dependents.
Yeah, I'm just using blanket statements here. Exactly.
No, I know. I'm just saying because people are kind of like question like,
yeah,
what if I'm on SSI? I live alone. I don't have kids.
Yeah,
this is only for people who have kids who are under 17.
Exactly.
Who are
your dependents?
Who are your dependents? Who no one else would claim on their taxes.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So that's the thing is, even as a fixed income beneficiary, if you typically don't file, that's where the money is. Okay. So just saying. And again, this is not one of those things that they're going to send out to you like the stimulus checks. Those were advanced refundable tax credits. So advanced means they sent it out early. They advanced the money because they wanted to get it out into the economy quickly. Quickly. Sorry. Quickly. They wanted to quickly get the money out into the economy. So that's why they advanced the money. But in this case, it's not advanced. You got to file a tax return in order to claim it. But again, it's just for the people that have kids under the age of 17. So again, I know it's very confusing, but again, this is what's out there right now. Whether they can get it passed in 13 days, I don't know. I really don't know if they're going to, but even if they pass it in February or March, we don't need to file our tax returns technically until the middle of April. So if we wait around a while, who knows? Again, I'm not here to tell anybody what to do. It's not advice at all. I'm just simply saying this is just what they're saying out there with the announcement today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think let's
other questions or anything?
Not like specifically, I would say about the
let me know. I hope this is making
like
kind of sense. I know it's very confusing with this whole tax stuff.
Yeah.
But basically what they want to do is they're basically saying this much. If you're low income and you have kids, we want to give you money. We want to give you more money. That's all they're trying to say. Yes, that's basically exactly what they're saying today out of this announcement, okay? They're basically just saying if you're low income, you've got kids under the age of 17, we want to give you more money. That's what they're saying. Mm-hmm. All it is.
And it sucks when you don't.
Yeah.
Because then, like everyone's saying, yep, once again, you're left out of the mix. You know what I mean? You're a single person, your kids are grown, whatever your situation is. Yeah. Once again, you're left out. And that's what we are here to kind of try and advocate. Mm-hmm. Hopefully, like we can write another letter. We can we can do stuff. We can keep our eyes out for this. But it's like super unfair. So yes, Ray says, so us on SSI get nothing. Yeah, you get nothing unless you have kids.
Yeah, but hang on. I want to say one thing.
Unless if I misspoke.
No, you're fine. No, it's all good.
Okay.
But I do want to say one thing. Okay, so here's what happened. A couple years ago, 2021, the American Rescue Plan, the $1.9 trillion package, okay, that is the one that contained the advanced and the higher child tax credit payments that went out in the form of monthly checks from July through December of 2021. That happened, okay? Well, guess what else happened during that time? And again, no promises. I'm just simply saying I anticipate there's going to be some pushback on this. But during that time, do you remember the talk about the advanced adult tax credit payments at that time? I talked about it a couple of years ago when that was coming out. So when we saw that from the child tax credit payments, there was also a lot of talk at the exact same time about them potentially introducing an adult payment for kind of the exact same thing for low-income people. So again, I'm not saying for sure it's going to happen. I'm just simply saying I anticipate there's going to be pushback on this for the exact same reason that all of us are talking about right here in this live stream, which is what about us? What about low-income people that don't have kids or maybe have kids that are grown and gone or whatever it is? You know what I mean? Over the age of 17. What about us? The same question comes up all the time. Why you stiffing us again? Why are we forgotten about? Things like that. So that's what I'm saying. I would anticipate some pushback. We'll have to see. This just came out this morning. So it's still fresh off the wire here, kind of. It's not super hot anymore, but it's still just
like
today.
A couple of hours.
Yeah.
So it's pretty hot.
Yeah.
Couple of quick questions. Roxanne Justice wants to know, is there a cutoff amount where you can't get the child tax credit?
Yeah. Your income has to be super high. If you're single, $200,000, $400,000 if you're married.
Oh, wow. That's way higher than I thought.
It's insane.
Oh, that's way higher than I thought, man.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
No,
I thought
it's
it was
nuts.
like $75,000 or something. $200,000?
For a single person.
$400 if you're married?
Do you know what percentage of the population earns that much money?
That's a lot of people.
As a single person, here's the thing. A married couple, I think it's like 5% or something. 5% of married couples earn $200,000. 400,000? That's a very small percentage of the population.
Oh, 5% of married couples earn $200,000.
Okay, yeah.
That you just said.
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly.
Okay.
$400,000, it's like a teeny tiny percentage. It's like, I don't know, like a little over 1%. It's a very small percentage.
Wow.
But my question would be, why is a family earning 400 grand a year getting $1,800? Do they really care? They'll take it. That'll buy a nice new shiny golf club, I'm sure.
Yeah,
or something.
Get
I don't
a little
know.
vehicle to ride in or something.
Gas for their
golden
Mercedes for a week.
spoon.
I don't know. I mean, seriously, who cares?
Wow. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Well, good for them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, one more thing I want to point out too as well. If you have a tax liability to the federal government, this will not come back to you in the form of a check, but rather it will reduce your federal liability. Does that make sense? So again, I don't think that's the case for many people. I'm just simply saying, if you owe the IRS money, they're not going to send you a check. They're just going to say, hey, if you owe us $10,000, we'll take $1,800 off. You know what I mean? They're not going to send you a check and be like, hey, get that back to us. It's not how it works. So does that make sense?
Yeah. And one more question. Shaggy RCBT wants to know, what if you have not filed taxes in years? Should you still file? If you have a dependent child, then this would be the time to file, correct?
Yep. Yeah, Shaggy
Even
RC.
if you haven't done it in years, but if this would be a good time to file.
Yeah, totally depends. If you have a dependent child under the age of 17 who you would claim as a dependent on a tax return, that is when you would maybe want to think about this.
Oh, can I
make
ask a
sense?
question?
Yeah.
This is just gonna throw it in. What if you have a child who's a dependent who's over who's 18 or older? Or isn't that an option?
That's not an option.
Oh, okay.
You just out of luck.
Okay, I just was wondering,
Yeah.
like different people have different situations where
Yeah.
maybe they have an adult kid who has a disability, so that they're does that matter?
In this case, no.
Okay.
Okay, yeah,
I
in
just
this
thought I'd
case,
throw
this
that
is the
out
child
there.
tax credit payment. There are potential other deductions somebody could take in that case, like an adult dependent kind of thing.
But not in this
But that's
situation.
not what we're talking about here.
Okay. Sorry, I just thought I'd throw that wrench in the mix.
Yeah.
Okay, should we do some shout outs?
Yeah, for sure,
Okay.
definitely. Again, I know this is frustrating. I know it's confusing, but again, I just want to reiterate, this is something we got to continue watching. Again, this is how it all starts. When lawmakers start talking about adding money, throwing money out to more people, we want to listen to it, no matter what they're saying, even if we're maybe not included. You never know, because then some lawmakers will come back and say, hey, I represent this group of people. What about them? You know what I mean? So again, this is how it all starts. We just have to watch. Again, no promises. I don't know what they're going to do. They don't even have a clue what they're doing, right? For the most part. But we just need to continue watching what they're doing going forward. So I know it's frustrating. Who knows? Maybe it's time to write a letter and be like, yo,
I think it is.
listen up. You're trying to give all this money. By the way, it's $78 billion is what they're doing here. That's the price of this package, $78 billion. So I'm pretty sure they have a little bit there that they could hand out to some other people too. There's no excuse for it, right?
Like the struggling members of the community?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's my idea.
Yep.
Okay, let's do some shout outs. Shane8897, Lynn Coles, Nancy J. Volwak, Edith General, Laura Rain, Samuel Hogwood, Shaggy RCBT, Charlene Reynolds, Dolores Malera, Samuel Hogwood, Roxanne Justice, Philly Liskus, Dr. Death 43, Victoria Mattern, Crystal Coachman, Patricia Lowry, Tom Lazinski, Matthew Hill, Lori Wambold, Tina Hall, Ray, Judy, Pamela Skaggs, Debbie Nesbitt, Aubrey Sophie, Judy Fort, Brandon Mason, Alan 007, Sweet Tea, Edward Matthews, Dana Mosley, Thomas Sims.
Nice. Good
Oh,
list.
and I'm going to do a couple more. Jacqueline Banks, Charlene Reynolds, Doc Enick, and Judy Fort. Thank you. Judy Fort just joined the fan club. That's
Nice.
awesome.
Yeah. Great list of names.
Yeah.
Thank
that's
you,
great.
everybody. Appreciate
It's fun
it.
because it's a little bit of a different group and some of the same people, some different.
Yeah.
Kind of a good mix.
For sure. Yeah.
So
it's
we
nice.
just really appreciate you guys all for being here.
Definitely. Which, by the way, if you have not done so, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Again, I'll keep you updated with everything going on with this. I know it's confusing. It's going to be eventful here over the next couple weeks here as we move forward toward January 29th. But just remember this much. If they don't get this done before January 29th, it's not all hope lost. I can tell you that much, okay? They can get it done sometime after that. But again, just January 29th, the only reason that date has any validity is because that's the date the IRS said you can start filing your taxes that day. That's it. Doesn't matter. You can file any time after that you want. Whatever. I mean, obviously the due date is April 15th, but again, just saying, okay? Just do whatever you see fit for
January
your
29th to April 14th.
15.
Oh, April 15th?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So anyway, that's just what we want to bring to your attention. So we'll see what happens here. Yeah, kind of a weird situation.
Yeah.
But they just announced it, so I don't know.
So it's great for some people.
It's great for some people, but again, love to see. Just honestly, I have no idea what they're going to do about this, okay? If they're going to continue with it, if they're going to pass it through, if they're going to deny the whole thing and just say, just kidding, it was a fun idea and it was fun to talk about, but yeah, we're not going to do it. They could do that too, right? It could be all bets off. It has not passed yet, but they want to get it done fast. So, yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Any other last questions we can clarify?
I don't necessarily think so. People just are saying hi.
Nice.
They're glad we're here. They're glad they're here.
Thank you. It's been a while, a couple weeks since we've done a live stream.
It has.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to get back into this.
Yeah. So sorry for the rough start. That was awkward.
Yeah. If you guys didn't see it, you might want to watch it once it's posted.
Yeah. Otherwise, leave your comments, your questions, your feedback down below. Once this video is up here, we're going to end this here in just a minute.
Yeah.
But leave your comments, stuff like that, down below in the comment section. We'll go back and read those. If we need to come back and make another dedicated live stream like this or even another video, we can certainly do that for you. Not a big deal. We want to do what we can to help you. We want to do what we can to clarify. And again, we want to continue to be here to advocate for you, as I say that all the time in the videos. I know, it's a rough time out there, seriously.
Mm-hmm. It is.
And what makes it more rough and frustrating is when they come out like this and they're like, hey, we're going to give a bunch of money to this group and nobody else. Yeah. Like, really?
Yeah.
Seriously? You're going to pull that one again? They do it all the time. But again, what do they want from us this year? Just remember that much. What do they want from us? They want a little line on a piece of paper.
Actually,
is that how you vote this?
No, I think you fill in a circle.
Oh, it's fill in a circle. Yeah.
I mean, we know.
Years ago, it was like, you draw a line or whatever. I don't know. Maybe it looks different across the country.
A circle.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, that's all they want from us this year. So what are they going to do to get it? I don't know. Money. Money talks. Yep. Money talks. You know what walks? Right?
People?
No. Something else that rhymes with money talks, something walks. I'm not going to say it. Anyway, look it up.
Tell me after.
So anyway, hope this helps you. All right, let's get off of here. It's pretty late probably.
Yeah, it is. It's
all right, thank you,
late.
everybody. Really appreciate it. Again, I hope this helps rather than confuses. We just want to do what we can for you. Anyway, enjoy your day. Again, please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Leave your comments. Go back and check out the other videos. Stay tuned. We'll continue to watch this as well as any other pushback, any other updates, stuff like that. Guarantee it's going to be a busy time. So it's only a couple weeks into the year so far, and it's already starting out very busy here. This year's going to be crazy nuts busy. So, all right, have a good night.
Yeah, good night. Thank you.
Thank you. See you later.